morning, everyone. I'm just trying to ease into this day slowly here. We're gonna get back on the build. Looking at the degree wheel, figured a couple of things out and noticed a couple of things as well. So I have to be very mindful when we put this thing back together. May have to either jack it up if we want to keep these numbers. Then I put another head gasket on it maybe and figure that out. So more than likely have to get the gasket material out and make another one Cometic. I got some let's see here, it's 1/32 of, what do you want to call, thickness in the sheet itself. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I gotta get another cup of coffee into me probably before we get this thing going. Yeah, so hope your day is going well wherever you are. Do something on that afterwards too. Well, yeah, wait for some guys to get on here. Hopefully somebody's up enjoying this beautiful morning. It's gonna be a wonderful day. So guys, bear with me here. We're gonna get some coffee in us. All right. Got a new water filter, so I don't have to worry about the lead in the water here. I guess it's all over America and not just up there in Flint, Michigan. Sad to say. Come on, power button. There we go. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Not sure who jumped on there with us, but glad you're here. We're going to get this thing going in a few minutes. It is Paul up in Canada. Hey, Paul. Good morning. Just getting a cup of coffee started here while we're waiting for a couple of guys to come on, hopefully. Kind of sucks. This light screws with the camera on my end. I don't know if you can see it. Everly and Raleigh's channel. Good morning. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Nice to have you here for the first time. What I'm going to do is add you as a standard moderator. So now when you see like above you, you have Paul's name. Next time you text, just say, good to be here, whatever. Samuel, same thing. We'll do the same thing for you. Oh, can't stay for long. I have to go to water park with my best friend. Okay. What that does, that little blue wrench, you can click on somebody's name on the channel here. We'll try to get these other people added in real quick. I know you got to get out of here. But what we're doing is Grayson and Samuel, we've also given you the little blue wrench. So if you type something else in, you should see that in front of you. And what that, hey, good morning, grasshole. What that'll allow you to do is you just click on the person's name and it'll take you to a little box and it says go to channel, and then it should say subscribe. You can subscribe, there's a little arrow, and you can just jump right back onto the show. It won't kick you off of the live feed, and you don't have to look for the name later on. So some new people in here, that's really cool. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in and trying to check us out. If you can stick around, we're going to be doing some work on the timing wheel here. We got it all set up. I just ran the numbers. We started the show the other day, going through kind of a series here. I could just explain to you real quick. So these are the numbers we came up with on the degree wheel. It just times them times 2. and we're looking at, I'll put the light back on. You're welcome, Sam, no problem at all. Hopefully you can connect with some people here and help the community grow and everything. So I can try to get this in some more light. I have to put the phone down, guys. As you know, I'm working with one hand here. But I'm going to try to bring her over on the bench. So let's see here. If I can get this under some more light for you. Oh. Okay. And then we got our light here. We're just gonna move that closer to what we're working on. Easy peasy. Problem solved. Cool. So now we can see in here pretty easily. You can see I got some lines in here already. Ran the numbers on this. I believe it's 70% of your bore diameter is the maximum amount. Gives you whatever the 30% on the other side of that is how wide you can open your exhaust. So instead of raising the exhaust, like we have plenty of room to do there, as you can see, we can actually take that much off. I think I measured it, it's almost like 5 centimeters. So we got all kind of room to work with. But instead of going up, we can actually widen that out, and that may give us a little more, make the engine run easier. It might not give us too much more top speed, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about as well, along with the port timing and the intake timing. So yeah, gonna be some fun. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, please give us a thumbs up. That helps. Not the channel, well, the channel directly, but anybody else that's doing motorized bike stuff, or if you're interested in small engines, kind of keep the algorithm at bay where they're not trying to push people off. And who cares about jumping off of roofs and car burnouts anyhow? You can only watch it so many times. So glad you guys are here. Hopefully we can learn something and try to do this together. I do have the two-stroke Gordon Jennings manual here. I was looking at some of the numbers this morning, as far as maybe even adding a boost port in. This is just going to be a daily, but depending on the angle you want, I might go as much as 30 or 40 degrees on the boost port coming into the intake. Samuel, can I sub to you? So what I need you to do, Samuel, is after the show, or you could just go to one of my videos and leave me a little comment. Hey, this is Samuel. Check me out, and I'll be happy to look at your stuff. So everybody on the channel that has the little blue thing, you guys are able to do that with each other. But just as the host of the show, I'm not actually able to do that myself. Or maybe it's just because I'm on a phone. If I was using a computer, it may be different. I really don't honestly know. I'm not that technologically advanced. So it's weird how the mind starts to wander and fail and grow and change as you're older. I mean, I used to work with Linux programming computer systems, not the websites, but making the computer talk to itself. And I probably couldn't, a lot of websites I have a hard time logging on to. So it is what it is. But I brought this out, the Cometic. This is a roll of fibrous kind of material. And it's good for, like, you could use it on a car, or just to make your own gasket here for what it is. We have, it's, gosh, if I can even see it here, I probably have to put my glasses on. But you got a 10 by 26 by a 32nd sheet. And something that I've noticed now, we do have a base gasket in here. what's going on with this though is when I'm bringing the piston up the top dead center, you can see that is actually just tiny bit above, oh, I'm doing it right, above our cylinder. So we do have a head gasket on here, and nothing wrong with having a good tight squish. I'm just kind of wondering how that sits in there. I've got to look at that some more and make sure that we're not going to be deading out on our head and then causing the cylinder when it's hot to snap because of the expansion of the aluminum inside the steel. So kind of just some little bit of technical stuff, not really a big deal, but just things noticing these things as we're going through the development of trying to get this back on the bike. We're going to be putting it on this Bumblebee bike here. This is one of the first builds that I did. Haven't used this frame for a while. But the silver frame that we've had it on out there for some time, the gas pike. Oh, excuse me. The frame actually snapped the other day, and I had the extra seat post inside of here that actually kept this from just falling apart and really causing me to get injured. I think I was doing maybe 30 or 40 miles an hour, so it could have been really disastrous. So thank God, kind of had that going on and got spared there. So anyway, what are we gonna do? Right now, what I've done already also, as you can see in here, we came up with a straight line off the sides of the exhaust. So we have our measurement in here. It's roughly 26, 27 millimeters. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 26.99, something like that, just rough guesstimate. But I think I can, if I'm doing the math right, I went on the calculator. Let me see here. I might be mistaken. Sorry, I'm bouncing all around here. It might be kind of hard to watch. Just on the fly here. All right, so let me get into a calculator. If I can find one for you here. Come on, thing. So at 52 millimeters divided by 70% equals, oh boy, what happened there? I went the wrong way. I got to do the 30%, I believe. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, not my forte here. I know what I'm doing, but it's hard to do it. It's kind of a brain injury. Let me figure this out some more. So 52 probably going to be divided by 30%, if I'm not mistaken. I did that wrong. Okay, I didn't clear it out. 52 divided by 30% equals 173. No, that's not right either. All right. I'll figure this out. Bear with me, fella. Comedy of errors. I'm showing my dad this because he needs to fix a jet ski. Well, yeah, I mean, it could be, if it's if it's two-stroke, you might definitely be able to use the information. 52 divided by 0.30 equals. Okay, I keep coming up with this 173 no matter what. On my other calculator, when I did it, it came up to 17.3. So that's why I'm confused here, because if I take 17, or we'll even call it 18, 52 minus 18 equals 34. So if I'm doing the math properly on this, I should be able to open that exhaust port up to 34 millimeters, which would be quite considerably wider than what I have in here now. How would that look? This is 26 millimeters. What did I say that was 34? 52 minus 18 was, yeah, 34. So 34 minus 26 equals 8 millimeters. So that gives us about 4 more millimeters on each side. Just for rough and dirty mock-up here. That's probably going to give us something like out here, like where we can actually open that up quite a bit. So we got some you know, some things to consider here. Whether we want to raise the port, whether we want to raise the exhaust port, whether we want to open the exhaust port, or possibly do both of those. We do have kind of the square shape in here now. And we could round the top out, give it more of an oval kind of yeah, anyway. Some of you guys may understand what I'm talking about, some may not. I'm not sure how old any of you are or how involved in this experience you've been in the past. But if you go back through the videos, you can watch yesterday, kind of a comedy of errors again. Had some trouble getting this set up. The timing wheel was rubbing up against the cylinder fins, and so we had to extend that out so that we could get a good read without it dragging. Also took the rings out so that we wouldn't have that problem as well. And they look pretty good actually, but more than likely, I would like to try to get a rush order in and replace those and get some chrome coated rings, because this cylinder is steel and you should not have steel on steel. You should have chrome on steel rings. Vice versa, if you have on one of the other cylinders, let me just find one here real quick. Boy, I know I have a little G4 hanging around here somewhere. Okay, probably. Oop. Let's see it. All right. So something like this one here. Geez, now I forgot what we were even talking about. Need some more coffee. This is not the right one either, because this is a single piece jug and I wanted to show you that. All right, that's also single piece. Okay. Oh, here we go. I found one. Oh, this is also a steel sleeve though. I guess I don't have any in here. Well, just to show you guys anyway. This is a single piece jug, but it does have the kind of let's see if I can get the light under it here. So it does have, maybe you can tell, you can see some kind of like striations in there. That's actually from ring wear on that, but this has a coating on it that's kind of like a Nickel, or they freeze dry a similar substance onto the inside of that and coat that. And then that's where you want to run your steel rings. So if you get one of these little engines in a kit, you know, for a couple $100 off of eBay or something, or Amazon, and you have that kind of a cylinder, it should be all set. For some reason, the steel cylinders, they have not taken the time to put the appropriate ring in here that you really should be running. You might get away with it. Sometimes they just get too hot and then they get brittle and they snap. It causes a problem. So Mike, we got a new person, Mike, here. Hey, Mike, welcome to the channel. We're going to give you a little blue wrench as well. You should be able to, the next text that should be in front of you, and you should be able to click on anybody's name that's on the queue, and it'll say go to channel, and then it says subscribe, and there's a little arrow to come back. So you can subscribe to anybody you see in here. I'm sorry if you guys have been asking questions and I missed it. But he says, Paul says, I'm using a spring tensioner. Is a spring tensioner worth buying? Okay, so that's a great question. Nothing wrong with that. We can definitely try to validate that for you. You can see this is a roller on here. I know just what you're talking about. Probably have pieces for one of them around here. Let's see. If we do. Well, at the moment, I don't see it, but I do completely understand. Here, we have one on this bike, or this engine rather. Well, we don't have the rest of it on there, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I would recommend, if you can possibly, this little swing arm that comes with those that kind of keeps the your pulley or your roller or grommet, whatever you have on those for your whatever unit you bought. I would definitely recommend, if there's a machine shop near you at all, that you would take that piece in there to the machine shop and tell them that you need to have it made over and you want it a heavier thickness. So, I mean, for what it's worth, like, they're probably really thin, is what I'm trying to say, and sometimes they'll bend, and that could actually cause, you know, some serious problems as well. So, oh, sorry about that, just trying to set the phone in. So if you can get, you know, they would have a tool like this in their machine shop, but this measures in thousandths, like the thickness of a metal. So then, you know, if this is, you know, well, most of us would ask probably in millimeters, but in the shop, they would probably use thousandths. So say this is, you know, 300 thousandths or something like that, or, you know, a millimeter thick or whatever you want to have to make it 2 millimeters thick. So just probably try to get that upgraded for yourself if you can. Worst case scenario, you could buy 2 of them and just take the part off of it and stick it together. Maybe put some type of a, like an epoxy behind there just to hold them. It shouldn't be necessary because you're gonna have a bolt, your bolt there and the bolt on the roller. But I would definitely recommend strengthening that strengthening that. Yeah, that could be an issue. Otherwise, I yeah, recommend them. Go for it. I mean, it's totally up to you how you want to build your bike and what you can do. Okay, we got Tyler Cox in here too. Tyler, hopefully you'll subscribe to the channel as well. We're going to give you a little blue wrench, Tyler. And sorry I keep going over this because people are jumping on and off. But next time you text, you should have a little wrench. You can click on anybody's name in the chat. It'll take you right over to their channel. A little box pops up, says go to channel, subscribe, hit the back arrow. You'll come right back into the feed. It won't kick you out. Leave us a little thumbs up, everyone, if you can. Let's see. I'm currently welding a frame for my bike. Very awesome, Tyler. I don't have a torch at this point, but as soon as I can get a welder again, I definitely want to do that too. Is the spring tensioner better than the stock one we get from the kit? Well, over the years, Mike, they've had some improvements and some changes, whatever. The current one you get right now should be similar to this. It has 2 clamps or joiners or whatever you want to call it. But the older style only had 1 piece here and 2 bolts. So I would definitely recommend this, not only because you got more traction with 2 points holding it than just the 1 point holding it, but this is when these are cut out, they have a thinner arc in the hold itself. So the older one was kind of wider, so at some point, sometimes you couldn't really get it on a frame properly. Now this is a felt faker, so it's kind of wider and pressed anyway. But the older frames, as you can see, or some of you guys could tell, or different frames, I should say, it's kind of a very narrow, thin bar there. So as long as you have a good hold, like it's not gonna move. You know, when it's tight, it needs to be tight. It should not move at all. And it's just setting it up properly. I'll show you on the bike I have out here, kind of where I would recommend if you can. There's several ways to do this though. I mean, I've actually run the chain upside down on these, which seems to help as well. So typically, you know, your chain comes up over the top of this here, runs up around to your engine, comes through the driven gear, and then comes to the top of this and comes down. But what you can also do on some bikes, if the motor is set up the right way, you can run this over this and then under this. So you can use this either way. Some engines it'll work, some engines it won't. But if you can actually reverse this and run the top under that, what you would think it would smack into this, but depending when it comes up on the bottom, it'll be a tight clearance, but it'll come up onto the engine like that as well. So, and it doesn't stretch the chain as much just when you're first getting it on there. It's a whole nother situation. But anyhow, you know, this is how you want it, straight up and down. Probably closer to the front of the wheel where you have more room in the spokes if you have to get back further because of mounting it. If it's the bars thinner or thicker, wherever you have to place it, just be mindful that you want to have clearance of your spokes right there. You don't want it hitting anything. Let's see here. Yeah, if anybody else is in the chat and they have information, feel free to jump in and say something. I might say something wrong. I've been doing this for a long, long time, but I've had a stroke and been in a coma and had brain damage, so sometimes it gets a little jumbled up there, boys. But let's see here. Jake Lombard, I wanted to find out how many mm a person can raise the exhaust port looking for a little RPM. Right, Jake, let me add you in. See, you're new to the channel. We'll give you the little wrench. Hopefully you've heard the spiel on clicking on somebody else's name and subscribing and jumping back on without having to lose the feed. Yeah, so it goes into blowdown and blowdown percentage. Depending on what you want to do and how you want the engine to perform. I'm going to say I think max blowdown is like, for most of these, they come in between 14 and 17%. If you can get them up to like 20, 23% in that area. If you can't even get up to 25%, I think it's probably overkill. You got to watch too now, because as you're raising the exhaust, you're stopping the amount of time that this charge has to transfer and the primary charge before the exhaust and the transfer ports open. You're affecting that whole situation. It's not just one thing, it's several things. Let me get the glasses. Mustaf Mamishan, good morning from Yonkers, New York. I just subscribed to your channel. Oh, thank you so much, sir. God bless you, and glad you're here. We're also going to give you the little blue wrench. Sabiano El Masque Sabe, Honda is engine better. We're also going to give you the wrench. You can click on any name, you know, anything in the feed coming up and down. You just click on their name, and it's going to take you to their channel. It says go to channel. Subscribe and hit the back arrow. You're going to come back on the screen. You'll be right here with us. And Paul got to that one. Yeah, man, for sure. So glad you guys are here. I've been trying to explain this the best I can as far as what numbers we have right now. Let's get to that first of all. Oh, So we started this the other day. Sorry, it's shaking with my hand here to get this straight for you guys. So we started this the other day. We had trouble getting the wheel lined. We got that all set. We got the positive stop on there at the time. I don't have it on at the moment. But we also have our pinpointer on here. So when we come around top dead center at 0, as you can see, that's pretty much right in there. That's where the piston is, top dead center. So, yeah, you got the blue wrench, man. You can, anybody's name you see, like Paul or Mike or Grasshole, Samuel, all these different people that joined us today, Everly and Raleigh's channel. Thank you so much for being here. Grayson Lane, we got all kind of people. I'm not sure who else is on here at the moment, but what we ended up doing is ran the numbers on here. So the exhaust opened at 75 degrees. The transfer port opened at 40 degrees. And the intake opens at 65 degrees. So we want to double those numbers up because this is 360. So that gave us 150, 80, and 130. I haven't actually even done the math on that yet as far as the blowdown percentage. Never put a Chevrolet engine. Hey, we got another person asking a question. Is it worth doing a porting job on these engines? How much power can you gain? Pierre Servant, we're also going to give you the little wrench. Most definitely it is worth taking the time to do this. Stock out of the box, a regular engine. It's possible to go quite fast. It's possible that you won't have any problems. This is a stock cylinder. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, why you need to do port work no matter what. Even if you don't adjust the timing, even if you don't adjust the timing, you can look inside of here and you can see all this sludge, grudge, whatever you want to call it, inside of the port. That needs to be cleaned out because as the piston's going up and down and the rings are coming across those, if it hits that and a bunch of that little piece chips off and goes into your motor, it's going to be done. So definitely port work is a must. You don't have to be a master. You can see here again how all this extra stuff from the casting is in the motor. This is actually, or the cylinder. This is actually a steel sleeve, but you'll find the same thing if you were to use the other type of engine that they do offer for you. Which is, I think it's the G6 or G5, G4, whatever cylinder. Has split transfers in it. May have one here I can show you. I think I pulled it out earlier. So that's what I'm talking about here, where you have the split transfers. So, let's see here. Harry Nalgas asks, is this a Honda? No, this is not a Honda. So, oddly enough, it's listed on eBay and Amazon as 110cc, but if you do the math on this, it's 52 millimeter piston and 40 millimeter stroke. It may be only 85cc. So, no, it's not a Honda. Thank you for asking, Harry. I just gave you a little wrench too. You should be able to go up and down on here, click on the name. And then it'll take you to the channel. It says go to channel. You go up to subscribe, come back to the window, hit return, and you'll be right back in the feed with us. So you can get connected to some of the people that have joined in here. I've got to 40 miles per hour with a stock motor and needs porting in a new carb soon. Yeah, so that's awesome, man. Thanks for saying that, sharing that, Paul. What I wanted to do real quick before I forget, if you guys do not have access to a Dremel, or ladies here too, whoever's here, again, thank you for being part of the show. I have some basic tools here for you. We have a flat file, we have a round file, and kind of a pyramid or diamond, whatever you would want to call it. And so this is the simplest thing. If you don't have a Dremel and you don't have, high quality tungsten carbide steel bits to go in there, if you don't have it, if you can't get it, whatever, you can contact me. The email is up on the window. You can definitely send us an email and we'll get you any information, or if you want to support the channel, or if you need a part. Sometimes we'll just ship you the part for free. You just pay for shipping, whatever it is. But, right, so the reason I brought these out, again, porting, not necessary, but cleaning. So it is necessary, but it's not. Port timing, if you want to do something to the bike, that you want to increase the power, the speed, yeah, it's definitely it's a good thing, to answer the question fully. But if you don't have the ability to get a Dremel or something, you just need your basic tools, you know. Just get in there with a couple of files, whatever you got to do just to clean out that, those ports. Like this file won't even get in here. It's a little bit too wide. It's just right there where it wants to go in, so you'd have to probably take your other tool and kind of open that up so you can get in there. But just, even if you don't open this up and you just use these other ones, just go in there and clean that area so you don't have any slag and you're not riding down the road and all of a sudden it's a catastrophe. So that's the best I can tell you with that, guys. Hopefully that gives you some type of information. Let me get in here, see if there's anything else that somebody's asked. The best combination, Honda engine and a bicycle, the best reliability. So I don't know that Honda puts out a 2-stroke. These are 2-stroke engines. They may have a 4-stroke engine. Honda is definitely a great name. What I'll show you that I'm working on over here. Let's get this out of the way. Sorry about that. I get you all dizzy again, guys. I know I fly around and it's probably hard to see some of this stuff, so I do apologize. But what we have in here is I just ordered some more parts for this too. It's coming together almost. This is the stage 6 cylinder from Italy, I believe. And you can see the port timing in here is much more advanced than one of these other engines. So the horsepower rating for this cylinder, you can adjust the transfer exhaust, open that, and get maybe a little higher RPM, more top speed. But it's about 3.5 with a good pipe on it and a good carburetor on it and good port timing. You can get it up to maybe 4.5, 5. Maybe not a Minarelli cylinder, but like 6 or 7. But this one right here is this is rated for 14 to 16 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. So again, that's stage 6. And this is the case that was made for it. Made in the USA in Pittsburgh by Smolik Performance. So we've got the reed for the intake, and I just ordered the sprocket for the driven. That's going to be an 11-tooth, not a 10-tooth. And I believe it's going to fit in there pretty good. Hopefully we won't have to do anything to the case. I'm looking for the timing plate to adjust this. I think I'm going to just go with the Parma kit from Treatland. But that engine right there, I'm hoping to get maybe, I don't know, 70 miles an hour maybe. I'm not sure what it's actually capable of. But yeah, man. It says throw a turbo on it. Yeah. Hey, Jason, thanks for being here. What's going on? Is there a model like SX50? You guys are talking bikes, man. It's getting me excited. I wish I had my little KTM 250 two-stroke or something, but let's see. How can I make my two-cylinder motor run? I'm not no mechanic. I'm a body guy. Well, you're in the right place to get some answers, brother. Give you the blue wrench too. You can subscribe to anybody else on the channel if you want. Um, so that'll help everybody keep growing. That's kind of it's kind of a vague. How can I make my two-cylinder motor run? Do you have it on a bike? I mean, if it's on a bike, you're hooked up already. You have your clutching able to engage. If it's something where it's not starting when you go to pedal it, I'd suggest it's probably your clutch. So you need to take the flower nut off of here, and then you take the bolt out anyway, and then you pull your clutch in, and you want to tighten that down all the way as much as you can, and then back it up 2 spaces on here. And what that'll do is engage your pads to the bell, the cup, and the plate, all that, yada yada. And that should give you, when you go to start it, that should help. If that might be one problem. If you back this out 2 spaces and you start it and you pick the bike up, your tire should not be spinning. It should not be moving. It should be, you should be stationary with the clutch pulled in. So if you see that it's still spinning, then you got to back it out another turn on that. Put the screw in there where that needs to be. Super appreciate that. Definitely be more interactive, more on putting the motor back on the bike now. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely, James. I mean, I wish I could jump through this thing and like come and see what it is sometimes and help people. I love doing this, man. So thank you for being here, everybody. I did want to talk some more about the timing wheel. That's why, since we were here in the first place, I'm not trying to change the chat in the link there. By all means, talk about whatever's exciting. But right now, I'm trying to figure out the numbers that I want to move this to. We've got literally, like I said, about 5 millimeters in that cylinder on the exhaust that we can really bring that up that much. Running the numbers, I mean, that if I was to stop it there where we made the line, let's see if I can get back to it. That puts us at about 90 degrees or 180 degrees on the exhaust. So I think that's probably the top definition. I wouldn't want to go. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's 90. How can you get any, you're going back down or up from there anyway. But I don't know if I want to go that much. I might take to like 80 degrees or even 75 where we are. I mean, just a tiny little bit up from there. So let me see if that, I can get in there and then draw a line. And then when we take the cylinder out and everything, we'll have the line there and we'll know where to go with the Dremel. So we measured that all out right now. The transfer's at around 40. And the intake, I believe, was at 65. So let's see here. But I'm telling you the guys that now. So if you have a similar setup like this later on, this is the 110cc with a 36 tooth sprocket on the rear and a 10 tooth sprocket on the front for the drive. This bike tops out around, right now the way the port timing's set, 35, 40 miles an hour. So we definitely want to increase the speed. We want to be able to go 40 miles an hour without having the RPMs totally bogged out. And hopefully still have the torque that we need to get up to that area. I noticed that right now we don't have any blowback on the intake side. So with the numbers the way they are, obviously the exhaust is open more than the intake. That's allowing fuel not to be pushed back through as much, causing the fresh charge that's coming in kind of to be depleted. The same thing with that though, when we look at the pipe, when we have this running and it's at a slower RPM, we can definitely see that we'll get a buildup around here where it's so rich that it's puddling in there, and when the pipe is hot, it'll actually even seep into the pipe and kind of coat it a little bit up in here, as you can tell from the top of this, kind of being a little bit of a different color right there. So that's actually what's doing that. So we want to open this up no matter what. We definitely have the ability to do that, and I'm not going to bring it all the way to the top. Like I said, we got plenty of room in there. What I'll probably do is come up halfway. We'll go out, we'll do some runs again. We'll see the increase in speed, hopefully. And, you know, if you guys keep following along, then you'll have those numbers too, okay? This is, you know, later on or whatever, I can post a short. If we don't get to do it in here, we can post a video. You know, with the wheel still on here, we're going to take the cylinder off. We're going to do the port work. We're going to come back, put it on. We're going to run those numbers, and then we're going to put it on the bike. And then we're going to take it out, and we're going to show you what the increase in speed is, if any. And I'm sure there will be some. So, and somebody asked before, is it worth doing this? Yeah, but there's consequences to it too. You know, you go faster, the engine's going to burn up quicker. Or the rings on the piston will wear out faster. You know, if you give it more, it's a yin and yang thing. You can either have more torque and less speed, or more speed and less torque. So maybe you have to pedal up a hill with the bike, but when you're on a flat, you're going a lot faster because it reaches the top end. So just some information, guys, if you're not really familiar, what's kind of going on with that. See if I can look in here. Dang, Paul. Yeah. I honestly, Paul, I don't know what your situation is. I do know you're moving and everything, and it's probably going to be tough getting back into work. I'm down right now myself, but this isn't a bad engine. I mean, I can't recommend it to somebody yet. I can say it's definitely better than the older versions. This is more of a stronger cast, I guess, if you want to call it that. But you can see the pins in there, and it's kind of a better quality than before. The old ones, the studs would vibrate out on the exhaust, stock muffler or otherwise. So you'd have to go to a machine shop or do it yourself, put some different heavier studs in to hold the exhaust. This one seems to be working all right. I would recommend maybe some green Loctite. Put it in, let it sit for at least a couple hours before you start it up, and then you should be good to go. Use a gasket if it comes with it. If it doesn't have a gasket, you can make your own with like a Permatex. And if you don't have that, even just a little piece of cardboard or nothing at all, you just clamp it on there tight as can be. You may have a little piss if the, it's not quite lined up. It's not quite flush there. And then if you can see that, if that's happening, again, if you just have even just a flat file, all you got to do is just try to smooth it out and should be good to go. But I love the 80cc, Paul. I mean, at 190 pounds, yeah, it's a little heavy, but I mean, I would recommend the 38 tooth sprocket on the back, and I think really you'd be all right. Just careful in certain situations, and you can listen to the engine and see what's going on. But the BT100, not the electric start BT80, but the BT100 itself is a beautiful motor. You really gotta watch getting a dry seas in it. So you want to have your fuel mixture down to like between 24 and 30 to 1. Really rich. But Other than that, I had the most fun with it. It's not much bigger really than in size than the 80cc, and it's got all kind of life in it though. It's got the grunt and the go. So, but I know these guys are doing the Avengers and Minarellis and whatever else. But in all honesty, I'm sorry, I should have this turned around here. Yeah, in all honesty, man, that would be my recommendation. I'm not getting paid anybody, you know. I know there's a BT 100 version 2 out that Bikeberry sells. The only reason I'm saying their name is because I don't know where else that you could purchase it. Um, Again, I don't know anything about that, but the BT 100, if you go back through it, some of the videos have been lost now, but we did quite a bit of work on that, and definitely a fun motor. And I believe I actually ended up helping one of the kids that had subscribed to the channel, found out he was nearby in the state of Rhode Island, and we went out and met him and gave him an older base that we had. Bought a new cylinder, did some work on the piston for him, put some oil holes down through it in the transfer so that kind of keep it going better for him on top of it. Knifed the piston, did all kind of work. Anyway, yeah, long story short, he still got it and it still runs. So, anyhow, but that's something I would recommend for a guy your size. That I think would definitely suit you. CDH has cranks, 40 cylinders, YD case. Okay. If you had the YD 100 case, MS460 piston. Okay. Good to know, Jason. Thank you for saying that to everybody. I want to switch to pit bike brakes because my cable pull hydraulic disc brake stop. Awesome, but wear the pads out quickly. Yeah, that's a valid point, Paul. You know, you definitely want to be able to stop. I've toyed around with the hydraulic disc brake for quite some time. I have disc brakes on a few of the frames. I'm not really having a problem with my pads wearing out at the moment. I must have good 6, 8, or 10 backups just ready to drop in. For the $8 or $10 they are, it's, you know, worth just having a couple of them and then sitting there and trying to fool with the pads and pick, you know, if it's got a cotter key in it or put them back in. There's a little slip, almost like a real brake, you know, caliper on a car, and then that falls off, and it's a headache, I know. But my only angst with the pit bike is it's heavy. The more weight you add onto the bike, you know, you're fighting weight ultimately when you have your bike dialed in, and you know, how fast can I go? Well, the more weight I add to the bike, the more that's taken away from that top power ultimately. So I mean, I know there's I want to say it's oh God, I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Let me grab the other phone here if I can find it. I should have been doing this with the GoPro on top of it. I did quite a bit of time lapse. I got to put it up, or maybe I did. But let's see here. If I can find it real quick for you guys. Sorry for the technical snafu here. Let's get to, what the hell is it anyway? All right. And so I'll try to put this up on the screen for you guys so you have a link. Definitely have lost the conversation here. I'm way too slow to keep up with you guys. I'm glad you're having a good time here. Let me, what I'm trying to do, fellas, real quick, is just find the link. And I'm going to open it up, and then you can just take a screenshot if you're on the phone, or if you want to come back and look at the video. I can leave it up hopefully long enough that you might even be able to write it down. At least get the name of the company that I'm recommending. And again, I'm not getting, you know, any promotion for this, not sponsored by them. Uh, but just to pass this on to you, because I do trust this product without using it. Somebody that's been in the business for 15 or 20 years that I totally recommend and rely on. Just not putting his name out there at the moment, but said to me, hey, if that's what you want to do, the same situation, what you're telling me, you want to switch over. And then you could also add or adjust and maybe, I don't know, I guess with the pit bike brakes, you need the adapter, you need the caliper, you're going to need the well. I think you're talking about probably piecing something together. So, and it's going to be heavier. So this is what I'm recommending to you. It's called Tektro HD M275 hydraulic disc brake set. That's going to be everything you need. Your discs, your calipers, your lines. You just put the either hydraulic fluid or what is it? You can use baby oil or something. I can't remember, but there is something else you can put in there. Just look up online, search it out, Google it, what to use in hydraulic brakes. But you're looking at $91 free shipping on eBay. So if you want to at least just see how the hydraulic brake functions over top of a mechanical brake, I would recommend starting there. Not that not that you need to spend the money and say, okay, yes, this is for me. Why jump all the way up to a hydraulic disc brake from a pit bike? Yeah, it's definitely solid. It's gonna stop you. At 40 miles an hour, I think regular disc brakes or even just a regular, on a steel frame, the cantilever or a C-clamp is good as long as you got both of them going. But anyhow, guys, I hope that helps you out. I've had that saved for quite some time, and maybe you guys will buy it all up and it won't be there. But if you can get it on there, I'd say that's where to start. Somebody's talking about smaller performance. Yes, they do make an adapter. I think also maybe RDM makes an adapter. I know there's a Chinese company that's done some stuff on and off, whether they have it in stock. It's Onilyn or something. It's like Onilyn, or I don't know. I can't even remember. I might be wrong anyway. Oh, All Lion but there's them, and then there's like RZ or ZR Fabrications or Holdings. There's a few different companies that if you look around, whatever. Smolik, okay. 70s Yamaha 175 drum front is something I was looking at. Fork twisting is something to figure out. Maybe a moped fork for a 1-inch threaded steel tube. Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I've got the MZ Miami solid forks. I think those are maybe just an inch or two longer than the hydraulic shocks. I mean, they're extended. You can get them shorter, but I might have went just a little longer just to sit up so I'm not in a racing position. But I mean, I haven't had any problems with those as far as it braking. I do get a little bit of movement in there sometimes. And the thing that I liked with this bike, a lot of times the CDH will come in with just like a standard head mount there. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's a hard plastic. It's not the best, but you're probably not going to get much better without. This is a custom piece that I ordered. It's metal, aluminum, as you can see. But if this head bolt or any of this comes loose, this will start spinning on here. You'll see it vibrating. And you'll also feel quite a bit of movement in there too. So you got to check that at times. The bottom bearing on this is blown out right now. I'm aware of that. But like I said, this whole bike's coming apart anyway. Until I can find somebody that can weld aluminum, or maybe just this is going to be a wall ornament. We'll have to see. But Guys, I know we didn't get much further on the timing wheel. If you were here for the first part of the show, we did try to talk about that, some of the way, how to do this. I got a couple videos backed up behind us doing this. I'd also recommend if you go into my playlists under the carburetor information help, there's a guy in there named Dave, and if you go to Dave's channel and you also look at his playlist, he's going to have quite a bit of information about port work for you. So either check out my playlist, check out his playlist. If you guys have a playlist and you want me to give you a little shout out on that, awesome. We got stuff on reed valves, we got stuff on building engines, we got stuff on lighting, we got stuff on you name it. And there's probably a lot more information out there. We also have a channel called All About Bikes. You could go in there and find hundreds of videos on motorized bikes only. Maybe one or two things on scooters, but the information is just valid there to help you as well. Again, if you were to ask Kurt Smollett, I mean, a lot of people, oh, do you need an upgraded clutch? No. You're not up into 12,000 RPMs. If you can port your cylinder out properly on a 80 cc, 66 cc, whatever you want to call it, G4, G5 box, the most RPMs you're going to probably see is maybe mid 10 to 11. So you can have a clutch slipping at 5 or 6,000 RPMs. I mean, just things happen, whatever, and then you've got to adjust it at that point. So, but going with all this extra, I need to have if you want your bike to be that beefy and that's how you want to build it, awesome. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. And by far, I would recommend doing something for safety, definitely. These things are not a toy. You're going, even at 25 miles an hour, you can really hurt yourself. So if you're a younger person, I'm telling you, please wear a helmet. If you want to have a little face helmet, or half helmet like that, that's great. I recommend a full face helmet. The reason for it is I've always been a firm believer in my teeth. And if you go down and hit your head, you're going to end up cracking your jaw. And a broken jaw or missing half your mouth is definitely not the answer. So guys, please think about that. Be safe out there. It's summertime. You got a lot of people driving under the influence, whether it's alcohol, marijuana. You got to know the road, and if you're not familiar with something, take your time. Look out for sand on the side of the roads. If in your place it's had a lot of rain recently and you've got wash, you can hit sand and it can cause you to wipe out. You got to be, mindful of all this stuff. So, anyway, yeah, we got to talk about the numbers on here a little bit. So, again, I'm going to get on the degree wheel, make some final marks. I'm going to get the Dremel out. I'm going to port the exhaust out on that. We're going to put it back together, and then it's going to go on the bike. So that's going to take me probably more of the day and maybe tomorrow. Working with one hand here. And then again, with what we noticed too, also that this the piston is popping up over here. We do have the gasket. Squish is very tight. This is a brand new motor. If this gasket down here decides to shrink at all, we could end up having the piston hitting the top of the cylinder. Getting a piece of copper wire in there right now, I don't even think I have any room to do that. It's probably something that I'd have to even do with Play-Doh because it's so thin, but I might be able to. These are just some of the things you want to understand when, you get an engine, even if you just open it out of the box, maybe take it apart and look at this kind of stuff so you know what's going on. But, with the gasket on there, we got plenty of clearance for the meantime. So, anyhow, just some more information for you guys. Hopefully it helps. Let's see here. Okay. Triple tree won't twist like suspension or spring or monarch. Well, this is considered a triple tree as well. It's just a single. How does that go? I know what you're talking about, but the single suspension fork, if you look that up, that's also under triple tree. I want to say it has something to do with this design, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, if you can definitely cage this, now I got something down here, now I got something up here, you know, you shouldn't have any problem with that. Um, I, with my brake on that, to be honest, guys, Paul, Jason, and whoever else is in here, I've only been running this with the front brake. Not really the best idea, because if that fails, you're totally screwed. But that's 75% of your stopping power anyway. So, you got to think about stuff like that too. What you're talking about is the forks twisting or something like that. It's definitely possible. I mean, again, how we're talking about heavy now, but if I was to measure those bars, I know those straightforward tubes are definitely wider than these ones right here. I could take this, show you real quick. If I take this stop out of the top of this right there. Hey, we got a Jack Deller in here too. All right. So you can see the difference. This is definitely wider, like a good 1/4 inch or so. So those, you know, to get those to actually fold on you, it's possible, I guess. Really have to be up on top of the bike leaning forward, or, you know, I don't know how you, something to do with improper posture and being in a really bad situation. But again, you know, just like I've said with the down tube on your seats where that cracked, put an extra seat post in there. It would just make sense to carry that further and even try to reinforce those if possible. I don't know if you couldn't put steel in them, maybe a guy would just pack them with sand even if you had to. Is what it is. But anyway. DNS got a 110 with cracked sleeve and then notorious for being junk. Oh, I haven't had any problems with this one. I mean, I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, when the 80 cc's first came out, a lot of them were junk. It was poor casting or sand casting. And there was hardly any opening in there, you know, but you could go in and you could make your port shape however you wanted it. You could raise it up or down. Now they've kind of come to a place where they've you know, they've improved the cylinder mold itself, but now that, you know, it's kind of just a set standard, almost like, well, this is where the timing is going to be and stuff. So I'm interested in fooling around with this. It's a steel sleeve. You know, if a guy wants to get a 49er, not a 49 cc, but a 49 millimeter piston, you know, you can look those up too. Just look up steel sleeve 49 millimeter motorized bike, and it's going to give you a little bit of room to play with. But, you know, again, the more that people buy these and they advance and they progress, they get to a certain place where it's just kind of like put it on the bike, clean it a little bit if you have to, and that's what you're stuck with. So I'm having fun with it in the meantime. Jack, we're going to add you as a moderator too. You should have a little blue wrench there now. Next time you log on, you'll be able to click on to anybody's name. So hit the subscribe button and the all notifications. So when we go live, you just click on, like, if you want to click on Paul's name right now, it should open up a box that says go to channel. After you go to channel, subscribe, then there's a little arrow to come back and you'll be right back in the show. But anyway, yeah, guys, it's been over an hour. I'm trying to keep these to an hour. I know I've gone a few times, 80 minutes or a couple hours, but I want to thank you guys all for being here. I got to put the phone down, take a break, get something to eat, and start pulling this thing apart. So hopefully I'll get a lot done today. I'm not sure if I'm going to record it or not. I might pull the GoPro out and see if I can set it up somewhere. It's just, you know, taking it off, sitting there grinding, and then putting it back on. Not really a big deal, not that fun to watch, but so guys, again, and ladies, thank you so much, all the new people that have been here. We look forward to seeing you again, and we'll try to get something up here in a couple days. Look for just the regular videos, maybe with some information for you. There's plenty of stuff on here. Hopefully you guys got to subscribe to some other people and you could check their videos out as well if they have them. And so, yeah, until then, you know, keep the rubber side on the road and be well, harm none. Godspeed.